ATM is about 3 coworkers who get trapped in an ATM in freezing temperatures by an unknown man. The group makes the dumbest decisions that end up screwing them over, and the outside man gets ridiculously lucky. It starts off with a bunch of blueprints and layouts because they will become relevant later. Then this guy puts on his coat and leaves what looks like a storage unit. Then David goes to work with some foreshadowing, or spoiling, depending on how you look at it. Anyway, David is getting yelled at for losing half of some guy's retirement fund, and why is Josh Peck in this? Anyway, if David lost half of this guy's retirement in one day, he must suck at his job.
Maybe I should have taken today off.
Probably should have. And it's also this girl he likes named Emily's last day working there. I guess there's a Christmas party and Corey talks David into going with him. At the party, he has an awkward conversation with Emily and then she leaves to get a cab. And Corey brings her her hat that she forgot, except she has hers. This leaves David to offer her a ride home, and she accepts, so he goes to tell Corey that he can't give him a ride home now. But Corey guilt trips him into giving him a ride too, even though he's the one who talked David into going to the party to get him to talk to Emily. Him doing this makes no sense. On the way home, Corey realizes he forgot his phone at the party, and the battery in David's phone is dead. How convenient, not like they're gonna need them later. Anyway, Corey decides he's hungry and this drunk idiot starts being all annoying about it and won't let it go until David agrees to stop somewhere for him. And good God, the one place that's open apparently only takes cash for some reason, even though every other place in the US would take a debit card, so now they have to stop at an ATM to get money. So to get back at him and to be a jerk, David parks as far away as possible. It's really cold out, by the way. After a while, Corey calls David over because his debit card won't work. And after like 30 seconds, Emily gets bored and decides to see what they're doing. So no one thought of moving the car up instead of walking all the way over there? No? Okay. They got their money and are about to head out, but there's someone standing in the parking lot looking at them. So they're trying to decide what he wants, and then this guy shows up walking his dog at 1 in the morning, and this freaking psycho just kills him. This guy has no name, so I'm just gonna call him Psycho from now on. After about an hour, they theorize he hasn't come in yet because the building requires a debit card to unlock the door. And they start pointing towards the car, which gives him the idea to see what's in it. And he finds a lawn chair, a toolbox, and a crowbar. So he grabs them and goes around back. They didn't think of leaving at this point, or figuring out a way to overpower him? No? Okay. Oh look, he cut the power. Well, they don't have heat anymore. It's really cold, by the way. Eventually they see a cop, but he doesn't see them, so he just drives away. So what was the point of that? Whatever, David decides to bribe Psycho and gives him like $500, Emily's earrings, and Corey's watch since his debit card doesn't work.
Wait, if your card's broken, how did you get in here? If the magnetic strip on your card is messed up like you said, then how did you get past the security buzzer?
You know, that is a good point. How did he get in here? Oh no. Good thing Psycho never tried the door. By the way, he's trying to get in through the back. Psycho comes around and David throws him the envelope. When he goes to pick it up, David makes a run for the car, but the wires have been cut. So, plan B, get Emily's cell phone. You know, this would have been a good time for Corey to actually do something. Or just stand there and yell. Anyway, David drops the phone and goes back inside, instead of, you know, running somewhere to try to find help. So Psycho puts her stuff in David's trunk. Then Emily writes help on the window. You know, she might want to put that on at least one window on all sides. Also, good thing she put that on the side with the ATM that has no camera because it's out of order. It's really cold, by the way. If it's so cold, how come you can't see their breath half the time? And even with this coat, how can this guy stand to be out there for hours? Whatever. About an hour later, the cop shows back up and actually sees them this time. He then gets out of his car and just casually walks up to them with their help sign and them yelling for him to hurry. Then he finally sees the body that I don't know how he missed earlier, and Psycho kills him. At least he tried to call for help. So none of them wanted to use this opportunity to try to get away or attack this guy? Seriously? No? Okay. I just don't feel sorry for them at this point. They're standing around talking and Psycho comes in, so David and Corey attack him and David literally kills him. But considering we're only 45 minutes into this, wanna guess what the chances of this really being Psycho is? Absolute 0. Wait, why did Psycho just let this guy walk in? He's killed everyone else who has gotten near this place. Was he just banking on them killing him? It seems like an unnecessary risk. What if he had a cell phone? Luckily he doesn't, but he does have a picture of his family to make them feel bad. Well, back to messing with the door. It's really cold out, by the way. Then these two get into what I think is supposed to be a fight. So Corey decides screw this and leaves. And as he's running, he just gets clotheslined by some trap Psycho set up and gets stabbed. Emily tries to stop David from saving him and he shoves her off of him. And then he just stays inside anyway. Back to the back door, but he gets a better idea this time. Why has no one come looking for the missing security guard yet? Oh my god, Corey's alive. So they go outside and get him and then bring him back inside instead of running away for help. Then David starts banging on the ATM with a trash can to try to trigger an alarm, and somehow neither of them notice this car coming up to the door, and Psycho tries to flood them out.
He's trying to drown us.
Not drown us. Freeze us.
It's really cold, by the way. And Psycho just sets up a lawn chair and watches the show. Then David and Emily just now think of setting off the sprinkler system and make a trash fire. I'm pretty sure Corey's dead. Anyway, David puts Emily on his shoulders and hey, it worked! But then David slips and Emily just smashes her head. I'm pretty sure Emily's dead. Then, just to be an ass, Psycho smashes the cars through the building. So David makes a Molotov cocktail and burns Psycho. Except, what a surprise, it's the security guard. Now the police show up and arrest David while Psycho gets away, and it's implied that he gets framed for the whole thing, because never mind the fact the video would show them acting concerned about leaving, the damage to the back door that clearly wasn't from him, them willingly putting the money and stuff in an envelope, which means he didn't steal it, the wires on his car are cut, he tried his card several hours later, Corey was obviously injured before they brought him back inside, there would be a fire hose sticking out of the back of the ATM, Emily's head injury wouldn't match getting shoved down, and his fingerprints wouldn't be on any part of the security guard's car. Except the camera was malfunctioning and cutting in and out, and conveniently only recorded the parts that make David look like the bad guy. And David broke it before all the stuff with the water in the cars by hitting the ATM with a trash can. Which is bullshit. Except for this guy's murder. That's on him. Then Psycho goes back to his storage unit to plan his next robbery. I don't think he realizes how lucky he just got. This movie starts out as an interesting concept, but is executed horribly. The three main characters just stand there while the killer does nothing when they probably could have overpowered him if they tried. Then they make dumb decisions like staying in the ATM building while Psycho is in the back and can't see them. They don't even try sneaking out, and when they do leave, they make as much noise as possible and then just go right back into the ATM building. Then the most random things happen just for random's sake and conveniently make David look like the bad guy. At least the acting is good. Geraghty is good as David. He can display the awkwardness of him trying to interact with Emily in the beginning and the panic and anger as the movie goes on. Josh Peck is the best actor as Corey. He's really good at portraying the douchey personality Corey has and showing his selfishness even when they're all in danger. Alice Eve is okay as Emily. She can do the light-hearted scenes, but she's just not believable when she's supposed to be frightened. Having this mostly take place in one location was interesting, and could have worked if there was a real reason why they couldn't leave other than they were just scared to. Also, it's supposed to be below zero out, but half the time their breath doesn't show. This becomes even more noticeable when it actually does because it draws your attention to it. Seriously though, either Psycho has the power to control electronics and what people do, or he is the luckiest robber in the world. Don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, and thanks for watching.